This is episode 10, or 10, of the Ill Noise podcast. I am Joe. I am here, sort of, with my beautiful wife, Neha. Neha, how you doing today, babe?
I'm doing great. And how are you doing, Joe, in the other room?
I'm doing better because I'm with you, even though we're not in the same room. Why are we not in the same room again, babe?
We are not in the same room because we want you guys to have a better shorts experience. So our faces aren't cut off, and so you guys can see both of us.
Nice, beautiful. And honey, if people want to get a hold of us, how do they do so?
So they can go to our website, theillnoise.com. They can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, and Twitter, or the X. And we want to congratulate our contest winner, Miggy G from Florida. And our question, which we didn't ever reveal on the show, which we were posted on our Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, was how many drummers did Nirvana have before the infamous Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters? And Joe, I think I'm going to let you take a stab at that.
Well, there was 5. I can't name all of them. I think one of them was Jason Everman or something, but I'll look it up later and figure it out. But there was 5. But Dave Grohl, obviously means so much to us, lead singer of Foo Fighters. But when Dave Grohl kind of jumped on after they initially did an album called Bleach, that was their debut album. Then we did 3 albums, by the way, their first album, and he didn't drum in the studio with that album, but he did the other 2, which obviously became so famous, and then of course, tragedy ensued.
And I think Miggy tried to guess all the names, and he told us that he was originally from Seattle, and now he's older. He's moved on to Florida. And so, we're trying to verify all this information about the other drummers, but, we're not sure. So, he's from the Tampa area, so he might be going for a Bucks game. So, we're going to try to figure it out and keep in touch, but, we'll see what happens.
Nice. Well, again, congrats to Miggy.
Yeah, but we have some, we're still loving the football.
We are. And Miggy, by the way, is one of over 2,600 subscribers to our YouTube channel. Is that correct?
Yeah, Miggy is one of the 1,200 Instagram followers too.
Nice. We're growing and showing. Keep blowing up. So that's great. So again, congrats to you, Miggy, and we'll probably do some fun things along the journey. And we thank every single solitary one of you guys for just following us. Hopefully we get you to crack a smile, laugh a little bit, think a little bit, maybe sometimes whoa, these guys are a little cray, and usually more me than her. But we thank you guys all. We're so happy you guys are all here. So I want to cover some things on the show today. The biggest thing that's happened out of Chicago, and I've already referenced it a little bit, we've both referenced it a little bit, is the fact that Justin Fields, the Bears quarterback for the last 3 years, finally has been traded. He was traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 6th-round pick that can become a conditional 4th-round pick, depending on playing time. And I want to say a couple things about Justin Fields really quick. First off, Chicago's been split for a while. We know that we have the number 1 overall pick in the draft again, like we did last year. And certainly there's some options there that we'll talk about in a second. But as far as Justin Fields, the guy, the character, stand-up individual, somebody to root for, really good guy, composes himself well. Chicago's not an easy market to play in. And he did so with class. And so I and a lot of Bears fans, really thankful that he came here. It didn't work out. There's a couple of reasons why things didn't work out. As far as throwing the ball goes, he was a heck of a running quarterback, quite frankly. Worst fourth quarter stacks, worst fourth quarter stats. I don't think sacks. Stats, more turnovers and touchdowns. I mean, just a lot of things. But he's going to play behind Russell Wilson now, who's in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
One
Justin Fields is saying, "What up, Pittsburgh? Russell Wilson, make some room."
There you go. There you go. Yeah, and that's funny you mentioned that too, because Russell Wilson said that the QB room's about to be lit. So listen, Russell Wilson's still, he's still winning life by himself. By the way, yeah, we won't talk too much about Russell Wilson here. But as far as just
Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl with the
Seattle
Seahawks.
Seahawks, yes, and he's won a Super Bowl in life because he's married to Sierra. Guys, girls, go ahead and you don't know who she is, go ahead and look up. A little easy on the eyes, shall we say? But Russell's a little bit older there, and the Steelers have already said Russ is going to be the starter, but those things are always fluid. So I think he's gonna win if he's gonna win the spot. If Justin Fields plays 51% of the snaps, that 6th-round pick that's coming from the Steelers to the Bears next year will become a 4th-round pick, which would be better for us. We'd love to get more talent, but just want to say, and I know you've certainly watched some games along the way as well, babe. But thank you, Justin. We appreciate all you've done. We're excited for the next chapter. We have the number 1 overall pick. USC's Pro Day is here amongst us, and Caleb Williams is going to throw, and all likelihood he's going to be the number 1 pick for the Bears. And really exciting times, and we will cover that as time progresses. But again, as far as Justin Fields is concerned, thank you. Thank you for the memories, and good luck to you. And thanks for being a solid, good guy that can handle Chicago, the Chicago media, and the Chicago fan base. You acted with class, and we'll miss you. But when we play you, I hope we kick the crap out of you. But if not, I hope you do the best you can. And again, good luck to you. Yeah, for sure. Switching gears to another sport, we certainly mentioned this young lady more than once, but the NCAA tournaments are in front of us for both the men's and the women's. Next week, as it gets next week, as
we're like at the end of the March Madness, right?
Well, we're actually at the beginning of it. Really, March Madness is in front of us, and it's going to be very exciting to see how Iowa does. Iowa is led by the amazing Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, who plays just with so much talent. I mean, she shoots like Steph Curry. She passes like Magic Johnson. I mean, she's got it all. She's going to be the player of the year, I would imagine. Her team is one of the number 1 seeds. Not favored, though. Southern Carolina is now undefeated again going into it, so they're probably the favored ones. But we'd really love to see Caitlin Clark. It'd be great to see her win the whole thing, but just really want to see her get as far as possible. Because of the way the bracket's set up, it's actually set up that that she would play against Angela Reese's team. And last year, a lot of people might remember that they had a little thing going against each other and stuff. All love, though. They've shouted out each other crazy times, but it'll be really interesting. I know we will be watching, and I'll be honest, I don't know how many times in my life I've watched women's basketball. I'm just gonna be honest. I would not miss watching Caitlin Clark. She can shoot. I mean, she can shoot, and it's pretty darn exciting. So this will be her last forte in college basketball. And then she's going to go ahead and move on to the pros. We think she's going to be drafted number 1 by the Indiana Fever, right, babe? And
she's going to probably be drafted by the Indiana Fever, and
yep.
I think we would definitely be all over those tickets. If when she gets drafted, and we know for sure she's going to be playing. I mean,
absolutely. And I think she'll probably play. We'll either go to Indianapolis to watch her, or we'll wait till she comes here.
We're so close. I mean, of course, if we were across the country, we'd have to figure out flights and this and that. But if they were coming to our city to play, once she got drafted, we'd just be boom on those tickets.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And she could, and she'll play against Chicago too. So, I mean, we could actually see her, just right down the street.
As soon as she's drafted, we're on those tickets.
We're on there. We want to go check her out in person. We have not seen her in person yet. We're both excited to do so.
I just got the thought, we are in Illinois and she plays in Iowa. So these last few games, why don't we go to the college she's playing at?
Well, because
Or are
now
they
it's
like all sold out?
that's probably, and they're all NCAA tournament tickets now too. So it's kind of like the playoffs of college and stuff like
But we
that.
could
So
still check. I mean,
check it out.
yeah,
Check it out.
maybe we're
Check it
giving
out.
people ideas too, but
Check it out. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's going to be exciting, and there's plenty of cool stuff on the men's side as well. But with the women's side, we are both very, very much looking forward to Caitlin Clark playing in there. I would like to change gears a little bit. So we're going to cover the movie that we ended up seeing because we're trying to see a movie a week. As we talked to you guys before, for $23 a month, we can go to the AMC theaters and we can see 12 movies a day. Isn't that right? For like the whole month. So you can see like 400 movies.
12 movies a day?
Yeah. Or actually
three movies a week. And it 12 can a day, be any movie. Like
any movie. Well, not those kind of movies, you dirty dogs, but any movie that they would play at like a theater. Yeah, we can see that. But we're going to cover that. But I would like to say that after the movie, we're kind of going.
Yeah, we went out.
Mm-hmm.
On Saturday.
And baby girl, you always get these coupons, right? Where, because you're really smart, you do all these cool things. Where like we have to spend a certain amount of money, and then we get a certain amount of money.
We spend like $10 or $20, and then it's only select restaurants. So not like every restaurant you can go to, because then restaurants would go out of business. But it's the ones that like subscribe, and they're not all horrible ones. But you spend like $40, and you get 8 $25 off coupons.
Nice. And you have to like spend
select restaurants.
But you have to like spend $50 and then you get $25 off.
And you get $200 off.
Okay, so you spend $40 on the meal and then you get $200 off. Is that what you're telling everybody? Because if that's the case,
$40 and you get 8 $25 off coupons.
Right, and the stipulations of all those are typically you have to spend $50 theoretically, and then they subtract $25 from the bill, right?
You spend $50 and you get $25 off.
Right, or you spend $60, you still get $25. But you're right. You got to at least get to that $50.
But I'm saying like each $25 off coupon, I only spent $5.
Nice.
So I'm getting like free $20 basically.
Right, and I would say we've gone to some pretty cool places. Like for the most part, I know you have too. I mean, we've got some good tapas and we've just done some really cool stuff, just have a little fun and
tapas,
get out there.
Barbecue was
great.
Nice burger places.
Yes.
This
good
place
stuff.
in South Carolina, we went on our anniversary. It was like another tapas place that was like really nice.
Yeah.
So
we went out on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it was a bar, and there was
a bar, but it's St. Patrick's Day. What do you get if it's St. Patrick's Day?
It was a St. Patty's Day special. It was pricey compared to the prices at the bar.
But what do you? Yeah, exactly.
So
but what do you usually eat on St. Patrick's Day?
Cabbage.
Corned beef and cabbage. Like that's a staple.
And it was priced up, and we were like, "Oh, this is going to be really good," because we went to where my parents live, and we went to an Irish restaurant. This is just a hole in the wall bar that we actually went to one time because the three of us, like me, Joe, and my brother, we have a karaoke thing. Like we're always just going checking out karaoke bars in Chicago. And
we're
it's
not.
more
We're
my
not
brother's
going everywhere in Chicago. Come on,
he has a karaoke map, and we'll follow him along sometimes. But this is one of the ones on the map. So we'd been there, and we're expecting okay, it's some good bar food, and okay, so this is worse than cafeteria food you get in grade school, okay? And seriously, this is $18.99.
Yeah, and everything else in the menu was
but could literally go and take $2 and get like what we both each of us had.
No, and I would ask for change back then too. If I would have paid $2 for that meal, I would have said,
I
"Do I get
mean,
it back or something?" It was bad.
we would like my brother and I would joke about one of Joe's favorite pizzas, and we'd be like, "Okay, it was like the cafeteria pizza," just as a fun joke.
Like, yeah,
but like,
like
this
yeah.
was seriously worse than cafeteria food.
Rosani's pizza was like cafeteria food, so that was that's a joke.
Yeah, I don't know what this place was thinking, but like I don't think they were thinking.
No, couldn't have been. It was bad, and
it has like these like little potatoes and carrots, and
yeah, and the cabbage looked like when the cook was
in here or something.
It looked like when the cook was cooking the cabbage, it probably fell on the ground. He took away some of the dirt from the plate. Dry. It was disgusting. So we're not going to call out the place at all because that's not how we roll. But we did want to share this. Sometimes trying to save a couple bucks. We got these cool coupons. Neha's always looking for ways.
But I mean, we were so disappointed. But it was St. Patrick's Day Saturday, so we made the best of that day.
We did, of course. We made the best of everything.
But we still made it a good day.
We did, yeah, yes. So, anyways, never again. But again to go out. But the reason we went out, not only because it was St. Patty's Day, but on that day, we went to one of our movies that we
it had just come out the day before,
and this was my choice. I had been when we go to these movies. It was
my choice too because I love this.
Yeah, no, you were stoked about it as well. And there'll be others along the way that obviously we both agree with. But we always get to the theater, and it's so much different now. Like when I was a kid, back in the day, but when I was a kid, I used to go to a movie theater, and then they play previews, like 2 or 3, and then movie goes, and that's it. Now you go there. If you go there before the movie starts, you got to watch like a half-hour commercials and all this silly stuff. So we always try to like smooth right in. When it's theoretically going to start.
Now when you go to theater, you get to recline and like
that's
part of the regular seating.
Yes. And there's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good things that have changed just in general. Back in the day, people didn't wear seatbelts. Now
and you can cuddle with your boo. Like they have like seats, like love seats together.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And anyway, so we see all these previews, and one of the movie premieres that we saw was this movie called King Arthur. Now, King Arthur, the movie itself, is based on a true story, and it's got Mark Wahlberg. I guess it'd be safe. He's the star of the movie, and also this dog named Arthur. But watch previews for it. We're not gonna sit there and like break down the entire movie, but basically they have to do.
He was like an awesome dog, and it was just really awesome. But it didn't go too deep, so we were a little like. Not prepared for that because we thought like what they showed in the trailer, like it was going to go more into it than what it showed, but like what the trailer showed was like kind of it.
Yeah. And to go with that, as far as like going deep, like, there's this big contest with all these people going against each other, these world championships, and you got to canoe some, you got to run some, you got to bike some, you got to do all these things. And I mean, it's crazy too, what these guys are doing. I mean, they're hundreds of miles they're covering, to do this whole thing across the way, and all these 4-man teams, and you got to have a female, and then so they got this one female they got who they got on their team, like her father was like a stud of all this, and it was a good movie. I mean, it had the basics of being a good movie, and as you were saying, babe, they just didn't develop the characters that well. There's definitely some cool parts. I actually would recommend seeing the movie and not watching the previews for the movie, because I was telling Neha when we were watching this that like all the good scenes in the movie we saw already on the previews, and the problem with
just kind of like if you happen to like bump into it while you're like couch surfing or whatever you call it.
I would even suggest seeing the movie, like going to the theater and seeing the movie. Personally, I would. I would just don't go with any expectation. It was good. I mean, I think we both said like it's not like we we didn't feel like we shouldn't have saw it. We're glad we did, but the characters weren't very developed, and there's a lot more that could have happened. here's something I am finding too, and we're gonna cover this in a second as well. But one thing I am finding as I'm getting older is that a lot of the PG and PG-13 movies, and this movie was PG-13, by the way, they disappoint me a little bit. I don't know. It's not like I need nudity or swears or anything else that an R movie could bring, but it just seems like R movies have a tendency, certainly the kind that I like to watch, that are a little bit, characters a little bit more developed, stories a little bit more deeper. You really kind of buy in, you get part of it, you want it all to happen and stuff. So anyways, I think we would both say, I guess you're saying see it if it comes on Netflix. I say don't see the previews, but see it if you want. But anyways, we both decided we wish it was better than it ended up being, for sure. But they did actually then open up a cool question we had after the movie, just about like the differences in some of the famous directors.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to kind of open this up for you, babe, to see your explanation of this, and we can kind of maybe go a little bit deeper.
I think I kind of had the question where I was like, well, what's the difference
Sure.
between, really notable directors like Tarantino, Spielberg, Scorsese, James Cameron,
Oh, that's another good one that we didn't mention. Yeah. So,
who's the guy that did Lord of the Rings? Jackson, I think.
Andrew
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson was a
all these like high profile directors.
Not Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson wasn't a director. Michael Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
Oh, Peter Jackson. Yes, yes.
So, what? And I kind of did some research, and
love it. Right.
Spielberg is the top dog. You know why?
Because his films have grossed.
He was nominated for 22 Academy Awards.
Wow. Nice.
And it's like a hat off if you just get nominated. But
it's like a hat off.
It's just like it's like awesome if you just get nominated.
Tip of the hat.
So he got nominated for 22 and he won 3 of them.
Okay.
Well, one for picture and best director on one, and then he won best director on another one. And then Scorsese,
was it Jaws and Forrest Gump that he won?
No, I'll tell you in a minute. But Scorsese was nominated 10 times.
Yep.
But he won only once.
Okay.
So, and I don't know what they said about Tarantino.
No, let's stick with Scorsese and Spielberg.
So we'll kind of like put Spielberg and Scorsese. We'll kind of look at those two, and the movie that was like the big hit for Spielberg was Schindler's List, and that movie was like
not a feel-good movie.
No, but it brought out so much emotion. Because there were some like it showed some like good times, like happy times,
Yeah, but really quick, Neha, you're kind of going on a little different angle here for me then. So, but it's good. We're like jazz musicians. We like to flow, and I've heard you do a good job of flowing. So I'm going to flow for a second here. So.
No, but he does a good job.
Spielberg's got the Jurassic Parks and the Jaws. He's got the more, Schindler's List, by the way.
But he does a good job of bringing out so many different types of emotions, even though it is not a feel-good movie.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. Actually, I'm not saying he doesn't at times, but I think Spielberg's done a great. I mean, Jurassic Park, Forrest Gump. I mean, he's done a great job of telling a really great story.
Did you say Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
He did Forrest Gump?
I believe so, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Well, I know he did Jaws. I know he did E.T. Spielberg's done some
he did Forrest Gump, but I might be wrong.
No, I'm probably wrong. I'm getting old. I'm probably wrong. But he's done some what Spielberg's done really great, and I love both these directors too. So this isn't a slight on either. This isn't propping up either. What Spielberg's done a really great job of is really making the screen bounce. And when I mean that, there's a lot of his movies that are like, and you've kind of even named some what I would say almost like derivatives of him with like the Peter Jacksons and the James Camerons and stuff. Where literally like you want to go to a Spielberg movie and sit at the movie theater and get your popcorn, get your drink, and just watch the visual effects and all the amazing stuff happening on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I would argue, and I think a lot of people that are, movie snobs or whatever would argue that Scorsese, although certainly does that in his own way, but Scorsese is more artistic in the way that he's presenting the film. And,
yeah.
And Scorsese's done some amazing films, but I want to concentrate just for a second to make a point. If you see with Spielberg, who's amazing, but if you see Jurassic Park, for instance, and I can remember in the early 90s, yeah, I'm not old, but in the early 90s, seeing that movie in the theater with some friends of mine.
I think it was late 90s, right?
No, I think it was like 93, 92,
1997?
No, I think it was about 92. I think about 93, 94. I feel pretty good about that. But because I remember my age and who I was with at the time when we saw that together. But I remember like just the visuals of the dinosaurs. And now you see movies. What's that?
I thought you weren't in college.
No, I was. But you see the visuals of these dinosaurs, and it blew you. It was not, we'd never seen anything like that. Just like when E.T. came out, we'd never seen the big spaceship and aliens and all that stuff. So visually, really enticing and really amazing. What I think Scorsese has done a little bit differently is really kind of get into the heart of the emotion of the characters. A great example, and then I'm going to end here, but in my favorite movie, Goodfellas, there's a scene where Henry Hill is taking his girlfriend, who's going to be his wife, to Coca Cabana. And it shows in a one single shot, it follows them walking in through the back and through the kitchen and everything else. And it's one solo shot, and it's following everyone around. And no one had done stuff like that. And he'd had pieces of that in Taxi Driver and Raging Bull and other movies he did. And so I guess really what I'm saying is that, Spielberg, amazing director. We both have nothing but respect for him. He's done some great movies that we love, right? But he's done a really great job of just making everything pop and like a mass exodus of visual stuff. Where with Scorsese, it's more of like the emotionality of things. Like you can't see Goodfellas and not like either A, be enticed, and B, be scared to heck that you don't have to deal with those gangsters. I just throw it that way. And I just think Scorsese's done a little bit better. So that's where like Spielberg, Cameron, Jackson would fall, I believe, in one certain category. And then like Scorsese and a Tarantino would be in another separate category of directors. All great directors, but some kind of concentrating more on different emotions. Some more of the visual emotion, others sort of the internal emotion of the characters and stuff. So anyways, I just thought it was cool because you had mentioned that to me before. Like we were kind of talking about directors and stuff. So yeah, but anyways, I guess we're kind of coming to the end here, babe. I want to say I don't love this new format, but I'm going to get used to it. I kind of like being able to grab you and give you a hug at the end here and whatnot, but I do like why we're doing it. I think it's going to be a good thing for us. So I'm really thankful. Of course, you're loving it, you're loving it up. But we love our people watching this and people helping our journey and supporting us. And so thank you guys. Neha, you want to say adios to everybody?
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations again to Miggy G from Florida. That was a tough one to name all the drummers. We're going to verify that. Even if we have to go to Seattle ourselves, we'll make it a road trip,
There you go.
We're from Washington, Joe, so here we go.
Sounds great. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.